Hi, good morning. Today we will be discussing the second module of computer organization and architecture. In the previous module, we saw the second chapter, that is machine instructions and programs. In the module 2 also we are going to continue the same chapter, and in the previous module, in this chapter, we have discussed how to represent the numbers, characters in machine level language as well as the high level language, and then we discussed the characters, how to access, that is memory operations, and how to access the memory locations and how to assign addresses to the memory locations. So all these concepts we have already discussed, and now in this module, okay, in the same chapter, we are going to discuss the addressing modes, then assembly language, then basic input output operations, subroutines and additional instructions. These are the topics we are going to cover in this module, okay, under this chapter. And if you consider the addressing modes, we know that there are different ways of specifying the location of a operand. So different ways of specifying a location of an operand is nothing but addressing modes. So if you consider addressing modes, there are many addressing modes in almost all the computers, and we are going to consider the most general addressing modes which are present in almost every computer. And so now if you observe, I have written a table here. So here we have some of the addressing modes and their assembler syntax and the addressing function. So initially, the first type of addressing mode what we have is immediate addressing mode. So as the name itself is saying, so the operand will be present implicitly in the instruction itself. So in the instruction itself you will be having the value of the operand. So here you will not be having any memory location instead or register. Instead you will be having the value itself in the instruction. So in the immediate addressing mode, the addressing function is operand is equal to value itself. So for example, if you have written an instruction saying add 6 R1, so in this, okay, we have the operand, one of the operand as 6. So this type of addressing mode is called as immediate addressing mode. And next we have register addressing mode, okay. In this we are going to use the general purpose registers which are present in the processor for representing the operand, okay. So here you can observe I have written RI. In this effective address, EA is nothing but effective address. Effective address is nothing but RI. Therefore RI contains the value of the operand. Therefore, so if you are using the registers which are present in the processor in the instruction, you can see here add #6, R1 I have written. In this we have some value in R1. So the value of R1 and the immediate value 6, these two will be added and the contents is updated, the result is updated in R1. So we are using R1 as the register which contains one of the operand. Therefore that is nothing but register addressing mode. And next, the type of addressing mode is absolute or direct addressing mode. In this we are going to directly give the memory location, address of the memory location of the operand. So LOC is nothing but the memory location. So you can see here effective address is nothing but location of the operand. So LOC contains the operand. So that is the address of the memory location in which the operand is present, okay. So if you write an instruction add LOC, R1, so LOC is nothing but the memory location of the operand. So if the memory location is say some 1000, so in that, so the value whatever we have, that is nothing but the value of the first operand which is to be added with the value of the second operand which is present in the register R1. So this is the absolute or the direct mode, that is direct addressing mode. And next we have indirect addressing mode. So indirect, so we are not going to give directly the address. Instead of that, we are going to give the address in either register or memory location. The contents of these will contain address of the operand. So that is nothing but indirect addressing mode. In this case, effective address is equal to contents of Ri. Instead of directly specifying Ri, we are saying effective address is present in Ri. So this is an example for indirect. This is the function of, not an example. This is the function of the indirect addressing mode using a register. You can also use the memory location for specifying the indirect addressing mode. So EA is equal to contents of LOC. So contents of LOC will give you the address of the operand which is to be used. So this is nothing but indirect addressing. Next we have index. So here you will be having an offset or a constant which is to be added to the indirect address. So you can see here I have written x of Ri. X is a constant value or an offset value which is to be added to the contents of Ri, which is nothing but the effective address. See here, EA is equal to contents of Ri plus x. Contents of Ri plus x. So if Ri contains a value 1000, this is the memory location where you have an operand. In this case, so you have some x. Let us assume x is some 50. So Ri plus x results in 1050. Therefore, the operand will be present in the location, memory location, that is equal to 1050. So this is the function of the index addressing. In index addressing we have the other two variations, and the first variation is Ri, Rj. Here we do not have any constant value. We have both as registers. So the advantage here is, here both the values can be changed. So if we have a constant, it will be fixed, it cannot be changed. Constant will be added with the contents of Ri, whereas in this we have both the registers. In this case, effective address is calculated as EA is equal to contents of Ri plus contents of Rj. And next we have base with index and offset. So we have index as well as offset. Initially we had only offset, then index, and we are combining both, and we are having index as well as offset in the addressing mode, and it is represented as x of Ri, Rj, and effective address is found by adding the contents of Ri plus contents of Rj plus x. X is offset value, a constant value. So this is how we are going to find out the address of the operand. So where we have the value for the operand. So this is about the index addressing. There are three variations, and the next is relative. So here we are going to use the PC, contents of PC. If you observe, so the index type and relative type, here we have x of Ri, here we have x of PC. So here you can see we have used general purpose register. Here we are using a special function register program counter as one of the value for finding the address of the operand. Therefore, here if you are using the program counter as a relative register to find out the address of the next instruction or address of the operand which is required, then we call such a type as relative addressing mode, and the address is given by effective address is equal to contents of PC plus the offset value which is explicitly mentioned here. And next we have the other two types of addressing modes. Those are auto increment and auto decrement. So here we have contents of Ri plus as the syntax for auto increment. So in this, the contents of the register Ri will be incremented depending on the word length of the computer. So this increment happens if it is a 16-bit, Ri plus increments the Ri value by 16 bits in the sense. So next memory location will be given, that is obtained as the result of increment. And similarly we have auto decrement. So here the Ri contents will be decremented depending on the word length of the computer. So here you can see effective address is equal to Ri. In this case also effective address is equal to Ri, but here effective, after finding the effective address, Ri is going to be incremented. But if you consider auto decrement, first decrement will happen and then effective address of the operand will be obtained as Ea is equal to contents of Ri. So this is about the addressing modes which are present in almost all the computers. And now we will consider one by one, and we are going to correlate these addressing modes with the high level language. So these are the addressing modes which are present in the machine level languages and machine instructions, and now we will see how to relate these with the declaration of constants, variables, pointers, lists, records, etc. in case of high level language. Okay. Yes. Next is implementation of constants and variables. As we all know, the constants and variables are the most commonly used data types in all the languages. And let us see how to implement these constants and variables using the addressing modes what we had discussed just now. Now let us consider the variables first, and then we will see constants. So if we consider variables, variables are nothing but the value of the operand will be continuously changing. So in such case, the variables are implemented using either the register or the absolute, that is direct addressing mode in case of assembly language. So if you consider the register addressing mode, we know that we are going to place the value in the register addressing mode. So the operand will be the contents of the register, and the next addressing mode which is used to implement the variables are absolute or direct addressing mode. So use this also you can implement, because we are going to assign the variable value to some memory location in this case. So using these two types of addressing modes, we are going to represent the variables in case of the high level language. If you consider the high level language statement, that is integer a comma b. So if you declare integers a and b, we know that whenever this is executed, the variable a and variable b will be allocated with some memory location, and whenever required these are accessed, and the value of these, if you are storing in memory locations, so these will not be affected. So in this case, so if you consider the variables itself, we have two types of variables: local variables and global variables. So yes, local variables, if you want to represent, these can be stored in registers. Therefore you can make use of register addressing mode in order to represent local variables. And if you want to represent the global variables in high level language, then you can go for the absolute or direct addressing mode. So if you consider this, so as I said, integer a comma b, in this case we can see that, so we have a and b memory locations which are allocated. A will be having some memory location and b will be having some memory location, and these are not updated. If you store the variable in a register, registers are temporary storage elements, they will be continuously updated. Therefore as I said, you can store the local variables in the registers and the global variables in the memory locations using absolute or direct addressing mode. Okay, so this is about the implementation of variables. Now if you consider constants, so how we are going to implement constant using these addressing modes. So if you see, the constants can be implemented by using the immediate addressing mode. Why? Because here we have asterisk followed by the value, so this can be used for representing constants in high level language. So say for example, if you want to represent an instruction in high level language, that is, say some a is equal to b plus 6. Okay, let us consider the example as a is equal to b plus 6. Okay, so in this statement, so we have a constant 6 because if you consider the high level languages, so we usually will be using constants in many of the operations, and one such example is I have considered a is equal to b plus 6. So in this, okay, you can use this 6 as #6 in order to add to b. So we will see the program segment in machine language. So yes, so in this case, so what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to add 6 constant to the contents of b, and that should be moved into a. So let us consider the program segment, okay, in machine level language. Move b comma r1. Let us move, okay, the value of or the contents of the variable b into the register r1 and add #6 comma r1. Okay, this adds the 6, that is constant 6, to the contents of b, and then finally move a comma r1. So this is the program segment which performs an operation equal to a is equal to b plus 6. So in representing the constant, so if you consider, okay, so you will be usually, the general format is move, okay, say for example let us consider 200 immediate, okay, comma some r0. Okay, we are moving this value to the register r0. In this case, so this immediate is replaced by, we have already seen the example, again I am showing. So this is represented as immediate #200 comma r0. So this is how we add or we represent the constants, okay, the constants in case of assembly level language. So after seeing the implementation of constants and variables, so next let us see implementation of the pointers, or let us see indirection and pointers, how to relate the indirect addressing mode. Next is indirection and pointers. So let us see the indirect addressing mode. We have already discussed. So in the indirect addressing mode, the address will be obtained by verifying the contents of the registers or memory location which is present in the instruction. So here if you observe, so we have written contents of R1. So this will contain the address of the operand, okay. So the R1 contains the address of the operand which is to be added to R0. So now let us see the two ways of using the pointers. So we call such, okay, operands, so that is which contains the address of the operand, so such registers or such memory locations as pointers. So now let us understand how to, okay, use the operands, so that, sorry, how to use the pointers in the machine level language. So here there are two ways of using it. So in the first, if you observe, I have written the instruction add contents of R1 comma R0. So now we are supposed to find out, so what is the value of the operand which is given by the contents of R1. R1 is going to provide you the memory location of the operand, okay, and we need to read the memory location in order to obtain the value of the operand. Therefore, so now if you observe, R1 is a register. We are using R1 to represent the address of the operand. Yes, So in this case you can observe R1 is a general purpose register, so which is present, okay, in the processor. So in the register we have B, where B is the address of the memory location, and that address is present here, and this contains the operand value. So this is indirection, okay, and the register, so which we have used here R1, which contains the address of the operand, okay, address of the memory location of the operand, so is nothing but the pointer. Okay, yes, so this is one way, and the other way is, so you can see here, so we have written add contents of A comma R0, where A represents the memory location. In this memory location you have address of the operand which is to be added to R0. So when the execution passes through this instruction, that is add A contents of A comma R0, initially it is going to read the contents of A. So contents of A is nothing but address of the operand which is to be added to R0. So we have some B, let us say it is some location, okay, so 1000, and so that is present here 1000. So here we have the operand which is to be added to the register R0. So these are the two ways of using the pointers or indirect addressing mode in machine level language. So now if you want to understand what is the advantage of this indirection, so let us consider a program segment, okay. So here we have addition of n numbers. So if you observe, initially we have move n comma R1, where n contains, n once again a memory location, so that contains a value that is equal to the number of the numbers to be added, the number of numbers to be added, that is n is equal to small n. Let us assume for time being this is equal to 10. Let us assume we are supposed to add 10 numbers, okay. So that 10 is nothing but n value, it is present in a memory location n, okay. And next move as num1 comma R2 I have written. So here you can see we are transferring the memory location, okay. This num1 is nothing but the memory location of the first number to be added. So for this let us, okay, consider a memory segment, okay, and let us understand how this program is going to work. So let us assume the starting location is, okay, so 0000, and let us assume, okay, we have move n comma R1 here, and it is followed by the next of subsequent, okay, instructions. And let us assume here we have some n which contains small n which is equal to 10, and let this n be some 1000, okay. And so after that let us assume we have num1, num2, etc. num n, num1, num2, etc. number n. So let us assume, so this is some 1 0 okay, let me assume this as 1 1 0 0, okay. So this is, if you are using 32-bit computer, then this will be 1104. Similarly, if you consider num n, so this will be 1140. So since we have 10 numbers, let us assume the nth value is stored at 1140, and let me assume the values are, okay, 2 3, okay, 5 for time being. Yes, so this is the memory, okay, segment wherein we have at the initial location we have move n comma R1, like that. So we have all these instructions, and let us assume the value, okay, capital N contains small n which is equal to the number of additions to be done, number of, okay, numbers to be added, and num1, num2, etc. num n are the addresses of each of the numbers. Okay, yes. So with this, let us see so how the pointers are used. Okay, how indirect addressing mode is used, so that we can add these n numbers. Yes. So initially we have move n comma r1. Therefore register r1 contains now 10. Okay, according to our assumption, register r1 contains 10. Next, move as num1 comma r2. R2 contains the address 1100, because I have moved num1 into R2. So address of this, okay, first operand is moved into R2. Next, so clear R0. So R0 is clear to 0. Next, we have a loop wherein we have the add instructions. Yes. So if you observe the first instruction in the loop, we have add contents of R2 with R0. So when the first pass through this program segment happens, so the contents of R2 is nothing but contents of 1100, contents of the memory location 1100, that is 2, will be added with the contents of R0. Initially we have 0 in the R0, therefore R2 plus 0 will be performed and the result is updated in R0. And next we have add as 4 comma R2. So why we are doing this? As we discussed, so if you are using a 32-bit computer, if you are writing program for a 32-bit computer, then address, okay, will be represented, that is 4 bits, okay, memory location of the subsequent, okay, locations will be represented as, so 4 value, so more than the previous location, that is we know that, so those are byte addressable. Therefore, so you will be having, so 1100 for the first number, next number you will be having 1104, next 1108, like that. So each will be having a difference of 4. Therefore, we are adding, okay, we are adding 4 to the contents of R2. For the memory location we are adding, okay, 4. And next instruction we have is decrement R1. So why we are decrementing R1? After adding one number, so we have to decrement the number of numbers to be added. So after passing through, okay, this loop once, so next value of the R1 should be 9. So like that it has to happen 10 times. After repeating 10 times, once the R1 value becomes equal to 0, it is going to exit from the loop, and finally we will be moving the contents of sum into R0. So this is what happens, okay, so while executing this program. But here if you observe, so we are making use of the indirect mode here now to add the contents, okay. So we are making use of indirect mode. So if you use the direct mode, the number of instructions will be more, as we have seen already, okay. So this is how we can make use of indirect mode in the program while writing a program. So this is the advantage, and along with this, if you do not have any absolute, so that is direct mode addressing in case of any computer, okay, in any architecture, if you do not have direct mode, then you can make use of indirect mode, or you can make use of index mode addressing in order to transfer the data or in order to perform the required operation. So this is the advantage we have. And if you consider the high level language, so how do we represent the pointers? If you consider the C language, so usually we represent it as asterisk, okay, followed by the variable. So let us consider this as an example of the C statement. A is equal to, okay, asterisk B. So here we are moving the contents of the pointer B into A. So how this is implemented in this assembly language? So if you consider this, you can represent this as move P comma R1 or simply in a single statement this can be written as moving contents of, okay, P into R1. So this is how we represent pointers of high level language using indirect addressing mode. So your next is indexing and arrays. So here we are going to make use of index addressing mode, and I have written 2 ways of using index addressing mode. So in the first, okay, here you can observe I have written add 20 comma 20 of R1 comma R2. So we know that the general representation for the index addressing mode is X of Ri, and this register is called as index register, and this is a offset value which is a constant. And if you observe the first instruction what I have written, add 20 of R1 comma R2. In this case, so 20 is the offset value and R1 index register contains the memory location, okay, address of the operand. So if you observe, I have written the register contents as 1000 and I have taken the constant value or the offset value as 20. So in this case, so we have 1000, that is the memory location here, okay, and 20 should be added in order to obtain, that is offset should be added in order to obtain the effective address of the operand. So effective address is obtained by adding offset to the contents of a memory that is memory location or register, okay. Yes, remember this register contains 1000 and this should be added with the offset value in order to obtain the address of the operand. So 1000 plus 20 gives you 1020 or 1020 you can say. So that is the address of the operand which is to be added to R2. So this is how we use the index register for representing the memory location, and the X value, that is offset, is 20. Okay, the constant value is represented by the offset, so that is X. And if you observe the second way of representation, here you can see that so index register is used for representing the constant, that is offset 20, and the memory location is specified explicitly. Yes. So we have 1000 here and contents of R1 is nothing but the offset to be added in order to obtain the address of the operand. Yes. So if you observe here, add 1000 of R1 comma R2. So the address is obtained by adding 1000 to the contents of the register R1. So which gives you 1020. So where we have the operand which is to be added to R2. Okay, so these are the two ways of representing the index addressing mode. You can use the index register to represent the memory location or to represent the constant value. Yes, so these are the two ways, and next we will see an example, okay, of how to make use of the index in high level languages, how to relate the high level language concept with the machine level language concept. So that we will see, okay, in the next class. Thank you.